On March 21st, 1987 in Las Vegas, Nevada, a very special figure came into your lives. You got a partner to enrich your lives, not your respective wives, but Mr. Fuji.
Was that Vegas? First time?
I have it here,
I thought it was
Superstar
New
Stadium,
York.
Thomas and Mack Center,
Might have been.
Vegas. We're never wrong, right?
Oh, you guys, I mean, that, see,
All right.
I'm not questioning it, just...
No, I know. Talk to me about working with him up front.
Well,
What were your experiences with him beforehand?
Well, I had actually petitioned to get Fuji from day one. Originally, we had Valiant, and
Very nice guy.
nice guy, but just didn't know this character. He had us coming, it was Randy and myself.
That was where it was kind of going to make it a joke.
Yeah, he had us coming from the moon, landing in the middle of the night and all this stuff, come aliens and this and that. And I heard the first interview, and I said, this is not going to work. So, from day one, the guy, I was smart enough to see in my years in this business that the manager that you wanted was Fuji because he was a sinister type manager. He was serious, and he was always supporting his guys, and he'd let your guys talk, and we could talk. Valiant was pushing for Valiant. He was the talker. He was, he was secure in his position.
Gotcha.
And I didn't need somebody to speak for me. I just needed somebody there to direct maybe a little distraction over here while I'm doing something. And so from day one, I was digging and scratching for Fuji. And it just, I think one of his guys left, or there was a disagreement with the office or something. He had nobody at the time. And we were really happy to get him.
Oh yeah, because Fuji, everybody, they were scared of Fuji.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of gimmick that we wanted. We wanted people to be scared.
Right.
Because when Fuji did a promo, as a fan looking at it, you always thought, that's pretty serious. He's really talking about breaking that guy's legs, and you know what I mean. So that just made the whole thing more credible.
How was now he added a little bit of makeup to his look too.
Yeah.
Not that he wasn't a very striking and attractive man beforehand. How did he feel about it? Was he cool with doing it?
Yeah, he never had any problem with it at all. He enjoyed. The nice thing about Fuji was that he was all business. He was interested in getting to the town on time. He wanted to eat. When I got into this business, I wasn't making very much money, but I was teaching at the time on side, so it didn't mean to need the money. It was just extra. It was gravy. But then when I first got full time, my wife always told me, "You're making the living, so eat good and sleep good and train good." So we always had good hotel rooms. Guys would 5 and 6 guys to a room sometimes back in the day. We always had a nice hotel, went to good restaurants, found the gym, didn't leave an hour and a half late and bust our butt 90 miles an hour and hope not to get any tickets. If it was a 2-hour trip, we'd leave an hour and a half anytime. That way you could stop and have a coffee. Everything was relaxing, everything was business. And Fuji was like that.
And we made sure and hit the best restaurants all over the world too. I mean, Fuji knew every Chinese restaurant. Bill knew every Japanese restaurant, I think, in the world, and I think I knew where every Denny's was, right?
Yeah.
But I
And
mean,
if we went with Honky Tonk, he knew where all the Waffle Houses.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, when you go to Tokyo and all of a sudden, you're going down a dark alley somewhere and you come into an unbelievable sushi restaurant, which I mean, it's a real treat to be able to go to places like that.
Yeah.
Or you're in Italy and going to the nicest place, or New York, or
Sure.
and we made sure and did that. We weren't going to skimp on what we ate or what we trained.
Well, it catches up with you after a while.
Yeah.
I mean, your energy level's down. You're on the road all the time. And you're getting up and you're catching that first flight at 6 o'clock, 5:45. You go to the town. You check in a hotel. You got to train for a couple hours. You got to eat. You got to go to the building. You don't get out of the building till 11 o'clock. You do the same thing over week after week after week. If you don't take care of yourself,
Well, and plus you have to enjoy yourself too
Yeah.
while you're doing it. Even though your family's at home, you know, you still have to enjoy yourself to be able to do this every day. I mean, we're on the road 30, 40, 50 days at a crack and wrestling 2 or 3 times at TV. You're beat up. You can't just try to skimp and save as much money as you can for it. You had to enjoy yourself. Otherwise, you'd crack.
That must be a tough thing that you brought up about family. People talk about the road schedule just taxing them physically, but I mean, especially after finally, you know, the birth of your first child and everything. In your case, it must have killed you to be away for 50 days.
Oh, it was terrible. And that was the one, you know, and back then you didn't have the cell phones and all that stuff.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But every single night you'd call home or in the morning, and that's what I did. I called and talked to my wife and my son all the time.
Good.
And whenever you could bring them on the road, you did.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when we were in towns 3, 4, 5 days,
Yeah,
you know, then you'd bring the
especially
family.
California
right.
and stuff like
Okay,
that, or
right.
Florida.
You know, that was the only way you could see them.
Right.
And it was
And
great.
even Italy, we took them to Italy with us, we were over there for
A couple weeks we
a
were
couple
there.
weeks, yeah. I mean, that's the only thing the sanity part of it.
Yeah.
So,
Now, speaking of sanity on the road, you traveled with Fuji, right?
oh, he was with us, he was always in the back seat.
I'm glad he was our
on the
friend.
right-hand side.
I'm glad he was
Sat in
our
the same
friend.
place all the time.
You know, when you're driving, you look at that rear view mirror and you could just see him sitting back there, just, you know, wait.
He's planning something.
Yeah, you know, it's like, he,
But you know what?
I'm glad he's in our car.
But he was always on your side.
Yes,
with the
he was
ribs,
on
right?
our side.
Fuji never ribbed us at all.
Never.
You know, we were talking earlier about things. I guess maybe it's a compliment to us again, because nobody ever screwed around with us. I mean, because I think they knew we were
Straight shooters.
conducting business.
Right, right.
It was a job, it was a profession. Some guys get into it for different reasons, but we got into it because, you know, we wanted to make money, and we did our job, we'd go home, we'd do our job, go home, and
Mm-hmm.
do the best we can do. So,
If we got in arguments with somebody, it was because we wanted to better the match.
yeah.
It wasn't, you know, for the wrong reasons. It
Gotcha.
when we were on the road, it was business.
Right.
I mean, we discussed matches between the three of us, Fuji and Barry and myself. We discussed, well, what can we do to improve this, or what should we do, or how did that look, or
Mm-hmm.
what should we eliminate, or what should we add? And even in our interviews and stuff. And we were one of the very few, if probably not the only guys who would do interviews. One take only. We never did an interview more than one time.
Really?
Yeah. And there was a funny story, we were doing a Pizza Hut commercial, remember?
Oh, yeah.
They
Boy,
had
that
set-
about killed
They
me.
had set this Pizza Hut commercial up for an all-day production. So the office sends us over here in New Jersey, and they had child actors and these prodigies that are going to do all this, and they're over in a corner memorizing their lines and this and that. So, and they said, we're ready to go. They gave us what we're supposed to say, and we got out of the trailer all painted up and ready to go. And camera's ready, action, boom. First take, and the guy,
Wait, son, cut, you know?
I said, well, you guys did it perfect. I says, well, yeah. Can we go now? And the other guy was stumbling around. Honest to God, it took him like 15. He only had like 2 lines, but he messed it up. I guess he's paid by the hour. I don't know.
Well, you guys.
Because we were going someplace else. But I
Night
mean,
after
that's one
night.
thing that but a lot of guys would go on the camera as soon as the light went on, they'd freeze.
Sure.
But give us what we're going to do and let us. It's different now. They have a script that they have to follow. So if we had to follow the script, it might be a little bit different. But that's not their character. So you have to be that character. That character comes out across the monitor.
Did
the
you,
people.
did you two get along from the beginning?
Yeah.
From the beginning.
Because you need successful tag teams. The one thing you always hear is that they had a great personal chemistry, not just working together. Usually, because I guess it can't work working that closely if you don't get along. So you guys hit it off.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, obviously.
We never had any arguments.
No.
I mean,
Your philosophies
You-
were the same
Well,
about business
yeah.
and everything.
Well,
you got to. You're with him. I'm with him.
That's
more
what I
than
mean,
with
yeah.
my family.
Well, you know, and none of us were trying to outshine the other person. Whatever had to be done in the match, you know, if I was going to get beat one night, or if somebody's going to get the heat on me or whatever, that was part of the match. Or
Yeah.
you know, Bill would do the same, whatever. You know, there was
'Cause if
no
it-
jealousy,
Yeah, I
no
mean, if
nothing.
it wasn't,
Everything was a
they
team.
weren't going to get rid of Axe and keep Smash. They
Right,
weren't going to
sure.
get rid of Smash and
Right.
keep Axe. They were going to either get rid of Demolition.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
So and that's how we thought with Fuji with us too. It was all three of us were a team, and whatever we had to do to make it happen.
And he was kind of protective of us. I mean, he
Yeah.
would pay attention to what's going on. what the baby faces are doing, if they're making something that, you know, when the match goes on, when the bell rings, he was as serious as we were, and we'd have fun in a match, but we would have fun with the contestants. We never wanted to have people laugh. I never got in this business to make, you know, a character that's a ha-ha character. I'm doing a very serious job,
Right.
and if we found somebody trying to make light of it, then they'd have to end up paying for it.
But something must have happened in the ring at one point where you had to stifle your laughter.
Oh, yeah.
Because
But you just bite your
you
lip.
guys can't get away
I mean,
with smiling
literally-
in the ring.
Literally bite your lip.